WISPR Ground Control, Initial Setup. System Notifications. The system notifications can be viewed by clicking the megaphone at the top of the WISPR Ground Control screen. This gives any errors or general notifications from boot up or flight. RF signal notifier is adjacent to the system notification. This gives signal strength from Smart Controller to SkyScout. Temperature of electronic speed controllers notifier. This gives the temperature of the ESC. If it is too hot, the ESC failsafe will enable and the drone will return to the launch position. Next is GPS status, which can provide info on the GPS and RTK fix status. Finally, the battery status labeled Battery 1 and Battery 2, which their info can be viewed. At the bottom of the screen, there will be a map. The map can be dragged larger or swapped with the camera display. The W at the top left of the screen is the menu button. WISPR Ground Control. Navigate to safety. Here we can see the return to launch altitude setting. Next, you can change the return to launch speed setting. Enable Smart Controller Disconnect Failsafe. Next, enabling the downward facing rangefinder. After enabling the downward facing rangefinder and auto land, reboot is required for it to be enabled. Enable collision avoidance by clicking the box on Enable Proximity Sensor. Make sure proximity sensor distance and avoidance activation height to 5 and 3 respectively by default when enabled. We do not suggest going lower on those values. After enabling sensor, reboot is required for it to be enabled. Finally, we see the remote ID, which has the serial number already entered by WISPR systems and the broadcast name, which can be changed by the pilot. Navigate to Payload. Under this tab, the pilot will need to select the payload being flown and restart the drone if a different payload is selected. You can also display a crosshair on the video stream. You can display panoramic button. Record subtitles for video recording, which has latitude, longitude, and altitude. If laser rangefinder is on a payload, it can be appended as well. Navigate to GNSS. Under this tab, the pilot can enable RTK. You can enable PPK in addition to RTK if needed. Geotagging settings allow you to use geotagging in the format of the specific software you are using. The RTK and trip rover settings can be saved. Input the host address, server port, username, password, mount point. Check the box if you need to send the position of the drone to the Ntrip server. This would be used for a network system such as a CORS or VRS. Navigate to Maps. Swipe down from the top of the screen to reveal the Android system and make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi. Click Add New Set. While outdoors, click the crosshairs to locate the map towards the controller. If the drone isn't powered or you're pre-planning missions, you can click the crosshairs to put location to find the center point. Create a unique name for the mapping set, but not required. Select the map provider from the list. Next, select the maximum resolution zoom level followed by the minimum zoom level. Select Download when finished. The tiles and elevation data will be downloaded to the end of the list. Navigate to Control. Select Mission Flight Speed to your preference. Select Mission Flight Speed Max to your preference. Select Return to Launch Speed to your preference. You may also select the preferred units of measure and the ability to mute all audio output. You can enable stealth mode, which turns off the front white and rear red lights. Finally, at the bottom you'll see the current version of WISPR Ground Control, WISPR Flight Firmware, and the inputted drone serial number. Press the W again, and this time go to Mission Planning. Here, specify the takeoff position to start. You can set the mission pattern to be survey, corridor scan, or structure scan. Thank you for watching.